So, in a recent interview with President Zelensky, you know, Captain Sweatpants of Ukraine, he was asked a question regarding if America would have cut him off. Well, he said, if they do that, we'll make NATO go away. And that's a threat. I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this
Are you serious?
is what's next. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, your humble host, Jasper Gonzo. What's next? How are you guys doing today? On this weekend edition, yes, happy Saturday, of course. For me, this is Saturday night. Well, with all the shenanigans that went on this week, and there were a lot of them, especially the situation in Ohio that is ever ongoing. Of course, leave it to Dementia, who was in Ukraine bootlicking, ass-kissing, kissing the ring, bending over, getting on his knees, taking it up without KY. 2-1, Captain Sweatpants, yes, that is him, Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine. Well, in a recent interview, he was asked a simple question regarding NATO and the continuing funding from America. He simply said, well, if America gets any ideas about cutting us off, well, something's going to have to happen in NATO. And we don't want to see that, do we? Well, this comes out of Breitbart. Zelensky, America will lose NATO and global leadership role if it stops giving me the monies. That's right. If you stop leaving the money on the dresser after I told you to grab your ankles multiple times, there is going to be a problem. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky declared that if America pulls military support from his country, the United States will lose NATO and its global leadership position. How? Well, speaking at a press conference in Kiev, on the one-year anniversary of the full-scale Russian invasion of this proxy war, Zelensky responded to a question on the ongoing unpopularity and continued support of the war for Ukraine by the United States, criticizing Americans who do not want to continue to send me the monies. Billions of taxpayer dollars flushed, while states like Ohio dying from toxic poisonings. Who gives two fucks? Quote, if they don't change their opinion, if they don't understand us, if they don't support Ukraine, they will lose NATO and the clout, the United States. They will lose leadership position that they enjoy in the world. Gee, is that a threat? They will also lose support of Ukraine with 40 million people, with millions of children. Yes, think of the children when you think about cutting us off. Are American children any different than ours? Yes, they are. We're supposed to take care of our own first before we start taking care of the damn world. But that's just me. According to a Gallup poll earlier in the month, nearly half of Republican respondents, 47%, believe that Biden administration, yes, dementia, is doing too much to support Ukraine. In contrast, 41% of Democrats say they think the United States is not doing enough. Well, color me shocked. While independents are currently evenly split, with 35% coming down on each side. Yes, that's 70%. Where is the other 30%? When asked about the message to Americans who believe too much money and assets are being sent to Ukraine, if they don't change their minds, they will lose NATO.
Suggesting that a growing number of Americans believe that the US is giving too much support to Ukraine. What would your message be on the anniversary to those Americans?
Yes, please tell us, Captain Sweatpants.
I would like to thank the American people. I would like to thank all of the American people that are supporting Ukraine, the Congress, the President, the TV channels, the journalists, and everyone that has been supporting us.
Yeah.
And that percentage of Americans, as you've mentioned, is increasing. I can
And they
tell
are.
you only one thing. if they do not change their opinion, if they do not understand us, if they do not support Ukraine, they will lose NATO, they will lose the clout of the United States, they will lose the leadership position that they are enjoying in the world, that they are enjoying for a very fair reason, and they will lose the support of the country with 40 million of population, with millions of children. Are American children any different than ours? Don't Americans enjoy the same things as we do? I don't think we're that different.
Since this time last year, the United States has sent over $113 billion in military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine, despite the country not being a NATO member and the potential of war spreading from a regional conflict into a broader war between Western powers and Russia. While some Republican members of the House Freedom Caucus, such as Florida's savage Matt Gaetz, has threatened to block funding for Ukraine, it is unclear if such a challenge will be successful, given the support from the neocon wing of the party in the war effort. Indeed, earlier this week, a delegation of Republican lawmakers led by House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCall traveled to Kiev to pledge their continued support. Yes, let me continue bending over and spreading cheeks in our continued support. On Friday, President Joe Dementia was questioned on growing questions among the public of how much longer the government will continue to pour billions into this proxy war that is the never-ending toilet that is Ukraine. The 80-year-old dementia patient responded, well, first of all, I'm not sure how many are asking. I know the MAGA crowd is. The right-wing Republicans are talking about. We can't do this. We find ourselves in a situation where the cost of walking away could be considerably higher than the cost of helping Ukraine maintain its independence. America's role as chief financier of the NATO alliance came under increasing scrutiny under Trump's administration, with the former president questioning why the American public should continue to be spending money to protect European countries who do not and or fail to meet their NATO defense spending requirements. Yes, pay your fair share, Trump said. What a concept. But also sent billions to Russia for exchange for energy. In 2018, President Trump said, it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia. Where it was supposed to be guarding against Russia, Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. We're protecting Germany. We're protecting France. We're protecting all these countries, and yet they don't want to pay their fair share. We're paying a lot of money to protect them. This has been going on for decades. It's unfair to every country. It's unfair to our country. It's unfair to our taxpayers. These countries need to step up, not over a 10-year period, but immediately. Ultimately, Trump's hardline rhetoric on the world stage was credited by NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg for securing $100 billion in additional defense spending from European allies. Yes, when Trump put the squeeze, they coughed up the dough. While he was successful in ramping up military spending at home and in Europe, Mr. Trump also has been one of the leading voices in America to call for immediate peace negotiations between Moscow and Kiev. However, there seems to be little appetite among the current leaders in Washington, London, Paris, Berlin to bring an end to this war anytime soon, because the neocons across the board want this shit to go down and fuck everybody over in the process. The fact of the matter is, for this little Napoleon, this little Cuban dictator wannabe, Zelensky, sweatpants, to be running around saying, hey, well, you know what, if you don't continue to give us the money, if you don't continue to leave the money on the dresser, well, things are going to happen to you, NATO, something could happen to NATO, and America, you would look very bad. Now, of course, if this were Donald Trump in office, or if this were a Ron DeSantis in office, I guarantee you that both of them would be telling Zelensky to go fuck himself royally and royally hard. But being that we have a dementia patient in the White House, yeah, he's going to continue to bend over, continue to write blank checks at the cost of you and me, and fuck everybody over in America. Example, see Ohio. I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. When you see more just like this, please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.